Hello, Astrid from Rock Paper Shotgun here. The Ace Attorney series is a classic of the games industry. Each game is a crime drama that typically follows Phoenix Wright, a man of law seeking out justice in a sometimes subtly supernatural world, with a cast of eccentric characters which both aid and hinder his investigation. You may also have noticed that if I replaced Phoenix Wright with Special Agent Dale Cooper, I'd have described the premise of Twin Peaks, the David Lynch directed cult classic that I know rather well. It's a pretty bold claim to make that Ace Attorney may be the Twin Peaks game we never got, but I think that theory holds water. Given the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy is now available for PC and therefore free game for RPS, I thought it best to sit down with a damn good cup of coffee and examine each work of media extensively, digging up every connecting thread, interesting coincidence and unmistakable homage until neither you nor any other avid viewer could possibly come up with any objections. We can begin with a surface level examination of each series. Both Ace Attorney and Twin Peaks cover some very absurdist and strange subject material, with the oddities increasing in both frequency and scope as each series progresses. Ace Attorney is home to unusual and quirky characters and world initially reminiscent of reality, but eventually progresses into Phoenix Wright serving as defense attorney for a whale accused of murder, and visiting a kingdom where spiritualist methods are used in legal cases. The town of Twin Peaks is, similarly, home to a cast of very odd people and a largely normal and realistic setting, but soon its supernatural elements take the forefront, with giant floating angry heads of evil spirits and plug sockets that transport people into different dimensions. Then, of course, there's the protagonists of each series, Defense Attorney Phoenix Wright and FBI Special Agent Dale Cooper. A number of similarities in both character conviction and in the events that occur in their lives. For example, both have been suspended from their legal careers due to misconduct, Cooper suspended from the FBI for participating in an unauthorised raid, and Wright for unknowingly submitting forged evidence in court, each then going on to win their positions by continuing the fight for justice. Also, going back to the Spiritualist Crime Kingdom arc in Ace Attorney, the use of spiritualistic methods in a judicial system mirrors that of Dale Cooper's interest and engagement with the spiritualistic practices of Tibetan monks, and his making use of the bizarre way that the black and white lodges function in order to go about his investigations. This comparison is especially poignant considering the kingdom Wright visits, Kurain, is located in the eastern Himalayas, a region in close proximity to Tibet. We can look to other characters in the Ace Attorney franchise that share qualities with Dale Cooper. It would be remiss, in fact, to neglect Diego Armando, better known to his fans as Hotshot Prosecutor Godot. Godot really loves coffee, and when asked how he takes his coffee, he says blacker than a moonless night. When Special Agent Dale Cooper is asked how he takes his coffee, he says black as midnight on a moonless night. Godot has also been heard to have said the phrase damn good coffee at times, once again a turn of phrase shared by the aforementioned Cooper. Godot also possesses a chivalric attitude towards women, feeling a need to protect and personally involve himself with many women that he encounters, particularly Mia and Maya Frey, the respective mentor and assistant to Phoenix Wright. Dale Cooper has been described by many critics, fans and theorists as having white knight syndrome, feeling a frequent and often self-destructive obligation to protect women. This aspect of his character ultimately leads to quite a few of his downfalls, in his affair with Windermel's wife Carolyn, his will-they-won't-they relationship with Audrey Horne leading her to risk her own life to impress him, and in his attempts to meddle with space-time in saving Laura Palmer. In order to do this piece the justice it deserved, I conducted a lot of extensive research. The character comparisons and the world premise were simple enough, but it didn't feel satisfactory to leave it at that. Naturally, I dug deeper. This led to some discoveries. Some might call them spurious, but I think they're certainly worth a glance. In the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice case Turnabout Time Traveller, the character Ellen Wyatt is about to be murdered at her wedding. Before it can happen, she makes a wish on a pendant given to her by an inventor that forms part of a time machine, wishing to go back in time to before the murder happens. She does, and returns to before the reception begins, but the killer is now dead, and she is arrested for his murder. Similarly, in Twin Peaks The Return, Dale Cooper attempts to go back in time to stop the murder of Laura Palmer before it happens, with equally disastrous results. Wright's ex-girlfriend's name is Dahlia Hawthorne. In Twin Peaks, when Audrey Horne is working at One-Eyed Jacks, she uses the alias Hester Prynne. Hester Prynne is the name of the protagonist of The Scarlet Letter, a book by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Both Audrey and Dahlia have tumultuous, sometimes romantic relationships with their respective series protagonists. Perhaps this choice in naming is a subtle homage. After uncovering this, I reminded myself of the synopsis of The Scarlet Letter. It takes place in the Massachusetts Bay Colony in the 17th century. Now, neither Twin Peaks nor Ace Attorney are anywhere near the region where this colony can be found. They're both situated on the west coast, Ace Attorney largely taking place in Los Angeles and Twin Peaks in Washington state. But it got me thinking about locations. We never see the FBI in the Ace Attorney franchise, nor do we ever see judges, attorneys or courtrooms in Twin Peaks. It begs the question then, given all the similarities we've observed in the way the world works in both franchises, the seemingly coincidental connections we've uncovered between their characters, and the simple fact that no interview or work of media exists to prove me otherwise. Do Twin Peaks and Ace Attorney exist in the same universe? I'll let you be the judge of that.